Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. It is 3/1 of 2019. Hello, Jolie. Jolie's always with us. I love Jolie. Fort Gates, Mitchell, and Jessica. I'll get to the rest of you guys and gals in a little bit here. Let's see where we want to start tonight. We're supposed to have Dale in here from Fort Gates, Captain Dale. He's running a little bit late. He's probably eating up at Meemaw's. Got to give Meemaw's a shout out. Do what? This weekend we have the Azalea Festival starting tomorrow. Matt and Luann from Satsuma Produce are going to be there. And I was just over there a little while ago. Hello, Sharon. And Doug. Doug Williams is a cool guy. I talked to him on the phone the other day. He's going to be helping us do some stuff with Fort Gates. And hopefully we're going to be able to get this thing. It's already launched. I got to thank my buddies over at, did you send a picture over them today? I'll get from them. They donated a couple of gift cards today.
Oh, give me 1 second. I'll send it over.
Okay, I think it's on my camera.
Yeah, it's on the camera. We'll have to make sure we do that.
We'll put it up Monday night.
Yes.
Let's see. We have a picture of the strawberries they've got over there. Let's put that up. Matt and Luann are going to be over off of St. John's Avenue. They have the stand in Satsuma. Look at those strawberries. God, those things are good. I ate too many of them coming into the studio tonight, though. Those flats. Now, that's a big box. This is either doubles on them. It's $10 for one big flat of those. Those are 3 flats in the picture, so don't think you get all those for $10. But one flat of those is $10. They're going to be over there tomorrow. They've got avocados that they're going to have. The big grapes. Those things are delicious. I was snacking on them today. I got a big bag of them. And all kinds of produce over there. Make sure you stop in tomorrow. They have a ton of strawberries. They will not last long, but $10. And here's a picture of two of my favorite firefighters over there, Miguel and Nat. They're over there at Satsuma Fire Department. You guys make sure you thank them for their service. Just type it in the comments so they can see it. They got a huge box of strawberries. I bet you Miguel there, he's on the left. I bet you he could eat a whole flat of those things by himself. He's a big man. Hell, he's taller than the truck. And yes, ladies, both of those men are married. So don't even type in the thing. Hello, Andrew. Andrew Parkin. I know Andrew. That's Daniel's brother.
Oh, it is? Hey, Andrew.
Yeah, I saw those kids the other day up at Kangaroo. Holy crap, they've gotten huge. Kids grow way too fast. Let's see. Okay, we got the Azalea Festival going on this weekend. Make sure you get over there and support your local vendors. They've got all kinds of stuff. Monday night, we will have Laura and Aaron. Those are from the Young Entrepreneurs. They're the ones taking over the Blue Crab Festival. It's not the old people anymore running it, so they're going to have all kinds of new music. Hello, Olga. Oh, hell, I know Olga. I went to high school with Olga.
You poor thing. Not you, her.
Oh, I was going to say not.
I was going to say, not you, sweetheart. Her.
Olga was always a brain in school. She used to scare me. She was so smart.
You didn't rub off, hon. I'm sorry.
Aaron just clicked on. So Aaron knows I'm talking about her now. Aaron is Batgirl. For anybody who wants to know, she will be in here on Monday night. Her with Laura, and there's another guy that's going to be on here with them. And they're going to be talking about the Blue Crab Festival that's coming up. This is a young group called the Young Entrepreneurs. And these guys and gals are ready to put hell out with a squirt gun. I mean, they are all about getting this thing up, getting it revised, bringing it up to 2025?
Yes, and yes,
they're
people, the rumors are true. It is coming back. Make sure you check out Monday's show to find out what's going on.
No, it's not going to be when the old fogies had it. No. Last time when they said they were going to have it, and then they said they weren't going to have it, and then they said they were going to have it, and then they wasn't going to have it, and then they shot Terry Hill down, the mayor, or Terrence Hill, when they shot the mayor down over there, and wouldn't let him do a festival, and I don't know what that was all about. I don't even care at this point. It's all in the past. The Blue Crab Festival's all been in the past, but it's a great time. Hello, Joey. Damn, I haven't seen Joey in a while either. He's one of the Mason brothers, the Freemasons. Joey's cool as all get out. He rides a motorcycle. He contributes a lot to Little League. He just recently, last year he got married. Got a pretty wife. She must have pushed the panic button, Joey. I got to tell you, brother. You got a pretty wife. That's the reason I'm not married now, Joey, is because I can't find anybody that would put up with me. So we have them coming in on Monday night. They will be here at 7:30 when the show starts, and it will run till 8:30. And they're going to enlighten you guys and gals on what the Blue Crab Festival is coming up. They've got a bunch of new groups. It's not any groups that you wouldn't want to go see, and they will be there to tell you. I don't know if we're going to announce Monday night the groups or not.
I don't know. Monday's going to be a surprise.
Probably.
I think they'll probably give us a little bit of a preview of what they have planned.
Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff. I'm not going to announce it right now, but talking to Aaron and Laura, I talked to Laura today, and they have a lot of good stuff going on this year.
Yes.
If you're a vendor and you want to get in on that, you need to give them a call. We'll give you their phone numbers. I don't want to give you their personal phone numbers.
No, message the Putnam Way, ThePutnam Way on Facebook, or you can message IITW Radio on Facebook and let us know that you want to get in touch with somebody, and we will put you through.
Aaron said, no, we are not old. I know. Don't worry, Aaron. It will catch up with you. Gravity will hit. Hello, Gerald. It will hit at some point or another. Now, Florida Rebuild, I'm going to give this out real quick. Florida Rebuild, if you haven't heard of it, if you have damage from Hurricane Irma, there's still time to get on it. If you live in an area in Florida that was hit by Hurricane Irma and you still have damage, if your mobile home or your house is over 5 years old, well, let me back up there. If your mobile home is over 5 years old and it got more damage to it than half the value of the mobile home itself, and there's the application there, you can call 844-833-1010. Need to call that and get a number. It runs out on the 29th of this month. If your mobile home got more than $15,000 worth of damage to it, they will pull that sucker out and replace it. You don't have to pay for permitting. You don't have to pay for anything. They'll even upgrade the septic tank. If there's trees that need to be trimmed, they will trim the trees. It will not cost you one penny. So if you have damage, you need to apply for this. If you live in a brick and mortar home, which means it's not a mobile home, but it's a regular house, they will come in, they can replace the roof, the drywall, whatever it is, and they will help you get rid of the mold, completely redo it. Now, Miss Helen Hayes, she has an email address that we have set up here at IITW Radio. They say I say that too fast. It's IITW Radio.
I'm so proud of you.
Indigo Tango Whiskey. That should confuse a couple of people. The number is right there on the screen. If you're on Facebook, if you're on IITWradio.com, you can click over to the Facebook page and you can find the message. You can find the information. You can also go to the Putnam Way, ThePutnamWay. You can go over there and catch it there. Now, it's very important that you enter and get signed up for this program, because once it's gone, it is gone. Now, if you applied for FEMA and you didn't get in on FEMA, they have attorneys and stuff that will help you get that. Also, if you were out of your home during Irma in different counties, and I know Putnam County just ended today, as a matter of fact, but most of the counties, and Putnam County may extend it out, but some of the counties will go ahead and write your taxes off for the previous years that you were out of your house. If you are elderly, do not worry about it. They're not going to come and snatch you out of your house if it has damage and put you in a convalescent home. If you have kids and there's damage in your house, do not worry about DCF coming in. They are not there for that. They're there to help you out and get you back in track and get you in a house. Matter of fact, Miss Helen was just working with a family that we have over here in one of our smaller communities. They had roof damage. They were terrified that DCF was going to take their kids away. They didn't. For some reason, FEMA dropped the ball. But Miss Hayes was able to get those kids bunk beds, get the ceiling fixed, get the house tarped. That's another thing. If your house is still leaking, they do have tarps. And you can go on, what's the email address for Miss Hayes?
IITW Radio Rebuild at gmail.com. It's actually posted in the comments also. It's pinned at the top.
Okay. I don't see it. There it is.
It's on the other screen.
It's magic.
It look
just
to your
popped
right
up.
and you'll see it in front of your nose.
It just popped up. It's for more information. You can contact Miss Hayes at IITW Radio Rebuild at gmail.com. It's IITW Radio Rebuild, REBUILD, at gmail.com. And that will go on there. You need to call up Rebuild Florida first and get your number. Then go on there and tell Miss Hayes that you have this number.
Yep.
And very important, if you know people that are needing this, pass the word on and get it out. Let's see. Jolie wrote, I think they have a big caseload because I haven't heard back either. And Jessica said, hello. Jessica said, I still haven't heard back from Rebuild. Give them a little bit of time, Jessica, because I know that they have a huge case log right now. They will get back to you. My best suggestion is call them back on Monday. Let's see. Martha wrote, I received an email that we qualified, and the actual application would be to us in a few weeks. So there you go. Wait. Don't jump the gun. If you don't hear back from them in a week, call them back. Put pressure on them. They will send you the application. But most importantly, be patient. Okay, let's see. What else we got? Mr. Dale just came into the studio, so we've about gotten him up there. I'm going to get to him in just 1 second. We got this Fort Gates thing going on. And for you guys and gals that don't know it, it's the oldest ferry in the world. And I'm not talking about little ferries with wings that fly across the water and put a quarter under your pillow. I think it's $1 now, isn't it? It was a penny when I was a kid. I got screwed by the tooth fairy.
I don't know. Some tooth fairies are very generous. I wish I had some of these tooth fairies.
The tooth fairy. The tooth fairy visiting my kids was leaving them $1. And then they said they got ripped off, and the tooth fairy had to leave them a $5 bill. I think my kids were pulling their teeth on purpose.
Yeah, I think they ran out of teeth on purpose, too.
Yeah.
The tooth fairy made sure they didn't get them.
Now my daughter has to wear braces because she jerked all hers out too soon. Actually, she just got them out. Okay, there's Fort Gates right there. Fort Gates is the oldest ferry in Florida. It's been there. Originally, Fort Gates was set up as a military base in, what was it, 1780? Yeah, 1780.
Yes.
And then it became Fort Gates Ferry in 1830, 35, somewhere around in there. It was before the Seminole Indian Wars. It was also there during the Civil Wars. It's helped build estuaries on the St. Johns, rescued people. Brought people back over from the other side during the forest fires. We'll get into that in a second. But I want to invite Mr. Dale, Captain Dale. And there's also Gateway Fish Camp there. We'll talk about that in a second. But how you doing, Captain Dale?
Okay, here.
Good to have you.
Yeah, you guys can say hi to Captain Dale if you want. You've been an operator over there for the ferry now for, what, 20 years?
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
20 years? That's a hard job, isn't it?
Well, good days. I'm pretty busy at times.
Yeah, so what do you do exactly over there?
Oh, I run the camp and RV park and the cabins, and we got the ferry service goes across St. John's.
So people pull up and it's still $10?
Yeah, still $10, yeah.
$10, and then you carry them across the river, and then they take the Florida Black Bear Trail?
Yeah, we're up in the Salt Springs, 7 miles through the Ocala National Forest.
Yeah, so you've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
How do you keep an old tug? Two Windy is built in, 1910 and then put into commission in 1918.
Yep.
And then the barge we figured out today, it is right, there's a picture of the tug right there.
Yep.
Now, that's a cool story. That lady came down to the camp, and her grandmother had been there in what'd she say, the 40s?
Yeah. Yeah, 40s to 50s.
Yeah, 40s and 50s, and we actually found the trees right in behind her, and she was able to stand in the same place that her ancestors had stood in, which I thought was pretty cool. Do you get people like that all the time, or do you get people like that ever?
Yeah, once in a while somebody will come in, have some old pictures, talk over old times in the camp, and Paul Newman was there. And one lady had a great big photo album. She used to be the camp owner then back in the 80s. And she stayed there a couple days with the photo albums, went through them all.
Now, you have pictures down there, too, that people can look at, correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures down there. So
I've seen pictures in there from the early 1900s all the way up. Let's see, Jessica said, that's cool. Dee said hello and good evening. I think she was talking to you. Not very many people like me, Dale.
Glad to be here.
Let's see. How do you pronounce her name?
Uh,
Clarita?
Yeah, probably.
Clarita. If I said it wrong,
You can pronounce the last name easy.
Richard. You said I don't pronounce the name. She said, where can we find the petition for Fort Gates Ferry? The petition we've held out on a little bit, Clarita, because the county still has to build the landing. Now, I wasn't really going to get into a lot of that tonight, but the county is supposed to have built the landing now for what, Dale? Since 2015?
Yeah, it's been a long, drawn-out deal, so.
Yeah, we got a picture of the landing where it got screwed up during a hurricane. Get Chris to pop that up real quick.
Don't think it's in here. Give me just a second.
It's in the video, I believe.
Yeah, so just give me
Yeah.
a second and I'll pop it up.
No, the hurricane came in and just, I mean, that thing raised hell with you guys, didn't it? It flooded out the camp.
Oh, yeah, flooded everything in there. We had probably about 14 inches of water in the office.
And then the landing, actually, if I'm not mistaken, the landing went forward and punctured a hole in the barge, correct?
Yeah, I had the barge all tied back like I usually have it for the hurricanes, and this one got up really, really high, so a lot higher than the ones I've ever had there in 20 years. And the landing got jacked up in the air, and the big steel plate went into the barge and punched a hole through the front tank on the barge.
Now, how old is that? There it is there. How old is that steel plate? Oh, there's a good picture of it. We got pictures of you guys and gals here, that banging going on. That's because my staff is sending over stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we need to see all those pictures. Right there. Look, while Chris is getting those put up there. Holy crap, that's the ferry. The landing is actually floating in the water. What a mess. So we went over and talked to St. John's Shipbuilding over there. Steve, I mean, what a hell of a group these people are. They're going to do a lot of work on this thing and get it back up and floating for between $4,000 and $6,000. And right now we've got a GoFundMe account set up for this. I'm going to have Marie put this up.
Yes, it's actually coming up in just about 5 seconds. It's already pasted and sending.
Okay. The railing and stuff on this barge. Now this barge, we figured out today, it's 90 years old this year. That's a long time for a barge. It must take you a lot to keep this stuff up and running. There's the landing right there.
Yeah, there you can see the barge.
Now, yeah, the barge is in the background. Now, what's this wooden deck out here? Is this where people used to drive on it?
Yeah, that's the wooden deck. It's over on my just outside of my boat ramp, sitting there floating in the river.
Now, that's what the county was supposed to have redone back in, well, I've got emails and stuff all the way back to 2002
Yep.
where they were supposed to have redone this. And I'm not, like I say, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what the county should have done or shouldn't have done. But had that thing have been fixed and brought up to code, then it wouldn't be sitting there floating right now, and you wouldn't be down in the water like it is.
Yep.
Where's the picture of the next picture, Chris, of the barge? Okay, so when was this picture taken?
This here was
Right.
taken 2 days after the hurricane.
Holy crap. Where's the rest of your barge at?
Underwater. They had two tanks ruptured on it, the front tank and the second one. So
Yeah, I actually pulled these stuff up on it today, and that thing was built in 1930, or it went into commission in 1930.
yeah, right around the 30s.
Yeah, so that puts that joker right at close to 100 years now. So how do you keep that thing floating for 100 years? And you've been there for 20 years, but keeping that thing floating, that must take a lot of maintenance on it. You're down in there scrubbing the inside of the hull out, or what?
Yeah, I get right down. I know how to patch it, and when I get a hole in it occasionally, I get down in there and take care of it.
Yeah. Now that picture, pop that picture back up there, Chris. This is the one part where the deck was at. That went on. Swell it up a little bit for me, Chris. If you guys and gals are looking at this, where you drive into the right, those steel beams were underneath that wooden landing.
Yeah, underneath the wooden landing.
And then there's a steel plate that's underneath the water, correct?
Yes.
So what happened? That thing just blew out and then
Yeah,
just flipped over? Or?
the water went over top of the wooden platform and it just lifted it up, and the I-beams just slid down that was holding the big steel plate that drives up onto the barge.
And you had recently, well, must have been recently, had the new pylons put in there.
Yeah,
I
they
see new pylons.
put them in a few years back here. Tommy Brenner come up and fixed it for us.
Okay. And what are those pylons used for? To keep the breakwater down, or?
Yeah, just some of the ones that were really bad. Some of those I use for brake poles with the rope.
Let me turn your camera a little bit. They can only see half your face. No. Dale's a big man. I don't want to piss him off here. He'll whoop me like I'm retarded. Let's see. They put the history of Fort Gates Ferry, continual service for over 150 years. That's a long time. What other pictures do we have up there, Chris?
Let's see.
Yeah, there was another one with a barge out that was. Oh, there's a better picture of it sunk. Holy crap! But you've already got the thing back up and floating, correct?
Yeah, I brought it up 2 Christmases ago.
Isn't that sad?
2 Christmases ago. So
Yep.
this thing's been down for that, been out of service for that
Christmas.
long.
Christmas Day, I brought it up and had it back up floating. So
That thing's
Wow.
been out of commission now for 18 months.
yeah, right, and just starting 18 months.
Jeez Louise. So you've been sitting there not making any money. Except for you
Yeah,
got
he dragged me in tonight, put me to work. So
we're going to get people to donate. We need to come up with $12,000 to get this thing. Now, Too Windy, I think we also have a picture of that, don't we?
Yes, we do. I believe it's in the comments. If you give me 1 minute, Chris, I'll send it over to you.
Okay. If not, I have a picture of it on my phone. Too Windy was, hello, Nora. If I miss you guys and gals on this thing is like a ticker tape over here. I say that every night. If I miss you on the comments, I'm sorry. I'm not doing it on purpose. The thing scrolls real quick and I catch names out of the corner of my eye here. And I'm old. So,
So, Travis, what exactly are we raising the $12,000 for? A lot of people are asking that question.
okay. Well, the 12,000 is for Too Windy it was a sailboat at one time, correct? Back in 1910 when they originally built it.
yeah, 1918. Yep.
And then in 1918, they cut the keel off and made it a regular push boat.
Yes.
And at that time, it had an old motor on the back. It just pushed it.
Yeah, they had an outboard on the back when they first started it up, running it, and then they had stuck in an inboard 6-cylinder into it, and they ran that till one of the previous owners there blew it up, and then they put an Isuzu diesel in it now. So that's been in there since '83. So
No, it's time for that sucker to get rebuilt.
yeah, it's got about 25,000 hours on it right now.
Yeah. We got a couple of pictures of the boat here. Now, this is the original boat from 1918, correct?
Yes.
And it's what you guys still use today to push the cars. Well, not today because the county hasn't got the landing fixed.
Yep.
But it's the original tug, but not for long. Because what we're planning on doing, Chris is going to put up the pictures on it. The name of the tug is called Too Windy. And there's the back of it. Over the years, they fiberglassed over the hull. So it is actual still wooden hull underneath there. But it's basically still the same. Oh, you replaced the rudder 20 years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, about say 15 years, at least 15 years ago. Yep.
Yeah, I imagine the other rudder was probably pretty rotten for being 100 and
Yeah, it was
10 years
pretty
old.
bad shape. I had to replace it once before because I think it was about the first month I worked there. I got into a big wash of water with a wake coming across, and they never had the rudder anchored on there with a lock ring, and I lost the whole rudder right off the back out in the middle of the river. That was when I first started there.
Hello, Chris Rodriguez. Now, the tug here, for just joining in, Chris, this tug right here still pushes, or it will as soon as the ferry's back up and running. But this tug is built in 1910, put into commission in 1918, from the information I can find on it. And what we're attempting to do is this tug needs a beautification project on it. The deck on the top has got some soft spots and some rotten spots. So the plan is right now, and we've been working with Home Depot and a couple other places. They donated the paint for the hull. Wait, keep that picture back up for a second, Chris. The hull on it from the deck down is going to be redone. We still need the $400 for the stuff that you put on the side to preserve it, so when we paint over it, it doesn't ever leak again. It's not fiberglass. It's like a plastic shell. And then the top of it is going to get cut off, and from the top up, we're still going to use some of the wood and the glass and other parts and pieces of it so we can keep this thing historical. But this is what we need the money for, the $12,000, which is cheap because we're doing all the labor. We have volunteers to do the labor, but the materials that are needed for not only the boat but for the barge is we need to cut the top of this thing off and rebuild it. Now, over the years, this wood has gotten painted. Some of it's been redone. We want to completely relay it in new pine and cypress and make it look original like it did in 1918. And it pretty much still looks original, except for the cabin's been shrank down just a little bit so you can walk around the side of it. And then on the barge itself, you can go ahead and take it down, Chris. On the barge itself, because it's got several holes in it, correct?
Yeah, it's good.
So
Getting worn through.
yeah, well, I met with Steve up at St. John Shipbuilders, and like I said, what a hell of a guy they are. It's a great company. Let's see, Clarita Road, is there a deadline for the county to fix the landing? I'll get to that in just a second. This is a picture of St. John Shipbuilding over there in Palaca. Well, a lot of people don't know it, but some big ships are made right here in our backyard, right here on the St. Johns River. And Mr. Steve has agreed to go ahead, and it's going to cost between $4,000 and $6,000 to get this bottom done on this thing. And then we're going to be up and running. Matter of fact, we're running that thing up there, and I'm going to help Mr. Dale if we can find our Captain Dale. And do not call him Ferry Dale,
Yeah,
because he will whip my ass. It is Captain Dale. He is a captain. I like the hat, by the way.
Yeah.
He might get me in trouble with some of my listeners for wearing that, but I don't care. We'll switch hats after we get through. I've been trying to get him to wear an Alabama hat, and he just can't bring himself to do it. But we're going to take the barge up next week if we can find somebody with a big enough boat to push it, because we're not going to put too windy in the water. She needs to come apart and be completely redone and get fixed back up. The deadline that we've set for ourselves is, what did we figure out, May?
Yes, May. We're trying to go for summer.
Yeah, we want to get it up and running for the summertime. And that's going to be pushing it. Now, the county, you ask what's the deadline for the county? I really want to get into this, but I'll go ahead and get into it for a second. This is not going to get you in trouble, Dale, because this is what I found out. Dale's a nice man. He won't beat anybody up, but I'll tell you what, I don't have any problem with it whatsoever. Before this administration that's in there now, so I'm not going to beat them up. Too bad. Before this administration, back in 2002, it was set up for the landing to be rebuilt. So their deadline was a year. Now it keeps moving on and moving on and moving on. It's sort of like your kids telling you they're going to take out the trash, but at 5 o'clock Monday morning, I'm running out in the yard with my boxers trying to chase the garbage people down. It's pretty much like that. Now in 2017 and 2018, there was $1.5 million sitting there to redo the road and the landing. Where it went, I have no idea. I have emails from the road department saying they're going to start on it next Tuesday. It sort of kind of reminds me of that wimpy guy on Popeye. We'll do your road today for a hamburger tomorrow. It just hasn't gotten done. Let's see. Nora Blunt said, shout out to you, Travis. Great job you are doing with this project. Oh, thank you, Nora. It's not me, though, because we've had some. Me and Captain Dale went up to Ryan's Manufacturing, and they donated steel for the new tug for that bar that's on the front. It actually hooks to the barge itself. What do they call it? A push boat or a tug? Or
Yeah, it's called a hip tow on the barge.
Okay. Anyways, they've donated the steel for that. Paul Kerp and Larry down at Georgetown Fire Department are going to weld and make that. And these guys are great at what they do. They build fire trucks. They build all kinds of stuff. And then we have Matt and Luann from Satsuma Produce who donated all new rope for it. And Home Depot donated the paint. Don't let me forget today. I picked that up. Don't let me forget when we're done with the show tonight to give you the paint for the hull and the striping on the side. And that was Bob over there. And Bob and, did we get his name?
Was it Michael?
Michael, I think. I don't know. His smock was covering up his name today. And he's probably going to kick me in the groin because I've met with this guy and he's donated water to our volunteer firefighters and everything. But we've got some good groups involved. As a matter of fact, I talked to Daniel over at Waste Pro, and I believe they're going to get involved with it. And I've got to send a letter to Georgia Pacific. But by the time it takes to get all that back, if every one of our listeners right now, Captain Dale, would donate $1, well, I think the minimum they can donate on the thing is $5, right? On the GoFundMe, is that right,
Yes,
Marie?
it's a minimum of $5, and then if you do $5, it's a $1 charge. If you do $20, it's a 20-cent charge. So it's kind of weird how GoFundMe sets up, but it's some kind of a tip that they use to overset their costs. So that's how they work it. But we actually just had someone just shortly. They donated $5. So if that's all you can afford, I mean, every dollar helps. We're greatly appreciative of it.
Scroll it back up to this $5 thing.
Right there.
I want to show you guys and gals something on this. Now, there was a homeless guy. If you guys remember, his name was SJ. Years ago, he lost the bottom of his foot and part of his calf in a lawnmower accident. And the guy he had gotten on drugs because he wasn't getting any painkillers. And then a lot of it had to do with Corinne Brown. That's for another show where she tried to help or didn't help him. Never even made an effort to help him. But now I can see why. She was busy spending her $800,000 that she ripped off from a scholarship fund. I'll leave that alone, though. But this guy was homeless. Now he has a house. He's gotten his life straightened out. He's getting help because finally, after years, 10 years, I believe, they finally gave him his Medicaid and stuff, and he's gotten some stuff, and he's working at rehabilitating himself. He took $5. That's all he had. $5 of his freaking money and donated it over here. Now, if a guy like that can do it, that's straightening himself out, if he can donate $5, I don't think there's any person listening to this show that can't go on there and donate $5.
Right.
Now, there might be. I take that back. There might be. And Nora wrote, do you have any fundraisers scheduled for the Azalea Festival or Blue Crab Festival? Not on this. We don't, Nora, because we just haven't. Now, I tried to get in Walmart today to let me set out in front of their store. I mean, homeless people can sit out there and collect money, but they say they can only do Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and the people that do blood drives now, which I think stinks to all hell and stuff, because if Scott was still there, I know Scott would have said, hell yeah, get out there, collect it. But I'm not even going to worry about that. I still like Walmart, so I'm going to get in touch with their corporate office to see. But we have some businesses, and if you own a business, what's the name of the business over there in on the other side of the river? The guy's going to set up a golf tournament. J.L. Snowden. J.L. Snowden. But it's Bass.
Give me one moment. I'll type it up.
It's Bass something. Anyways, it was over on the other side of the river. We're trying to set up a golf tournament right now to help raise money. And we have some stuff in the works, Laura or Nora, that we're going to try to do some cookouts and some different things to try to raise it. $12,000 is not a lot of money when you have a million readers that we have on the Putman Way, and 900-something thousand on this radio show.
Is it Bass Champions Restaurant? Is that the one?
It sounds about right.
So that would be Bass Champions Restaurant and Lounge out of Salt Springs.
Yeah, that's it. And then what's the other one place over there, Dale? The bar over there that comes across the river.
Oh, Cactus Jack's.
Yeah, Cactus Jack's. They're going to get involved. What did Clarita say? Where do we go to donate to the ferry? It never showed up on here.
There's a GoFundMe link. I'll give you one moment, and I'll sign it underneath your name. Kind of having a computer glitch.
Jolie
here,
wrote.
Excuse me.
Jolie wrote, "Go out like the panhandlers do with a sign for Fort Gates."
Right.
We'll work for a ferry ride.
Right.
I don't think that'd be too good.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
No, I'll do it. Hell, I have no problem with it. But there is a GoFundMe account set up, Clarita. And yeah, if you can donate, I mean, even if it's $5, and I know some people don't have $5 to donate, but you can still come down. We're going to set up a work day where people can come down. Now, you also own Gateway Fish Camp too, correct?
Yeah, I got the Gateway Fish Camp.
Now, you have cabins down there that people can rent?
Yeah, we've got eight cabins and 10 RV spots.
What's the rental? If somebody wanted to come down, say if I wanted to come down with my kids and stay in one of the cabins for the weekend, what would it cost me a night?
It's the small cabins are $40 a night, and the big cabins are $55 a night, plus tax.
They have refrigerator and stove and stuff in them.
Yeah, they're like a little efficiency apartment. They got everything in them.
Oh,
Air conditioning, towels, coffee pot, linens, all over there.
Hell, that's half the price of a Holiday Inn. And you have a dock out there that people can fish on.
There's a 96-foot dock out there to fish on.
And if you don't want to stay, it's what, $4?
$4 fish fee on the dock to go fishing all day.
You can't beat that.
That's a good deal. No, I know. One of my kids, he caught his first catfish down there. Matter of fact, two of my kids, and my kids have all ridden a ferry when they were smaller, and they loved it. So that must be pretty cool for people. I mean, they have kids and stuff that come down there, and the people just stay up go for a Sunday drive.
Yeah, I get a lot of repeat customers. A lot of people go into Salt Springs to go swimming in the summertime. There's carloads of them come across. There's like a whole family reunion going on. I'll have to make 3 or 4 trips just to get across 2 cars at a time to get over there. Then they're all coming back I usually see them back at 5 o'clock. They're coming back over to finish up their day to get back across the river.
Yeah, now what time are the hours down when we do? Because Fort Gates is going to be up and running.
Yeah, I'm open up at 7 and close at 5:30. I'm there 10.5 hours a day.
Except for Tuesday, correct?
Yep, 6 days a week, closed on Tuesdays.
Okay. And it's only $10 for them to go across the river?
Yep.
Well,
$10 a car. So.
Oh, for a carload, okay. Hell, if I drive around there, it takes me, I clocked it the other day, and it was an hour and 10 minutes for me to drive from there all the way back around to the ferry road.
Yeah, it's about 57 miles.
Yep. And with the building and stuff they've got going on there. Let's see. Jessica said, right now, don't have any money, and I'm trying to help kids. That's all I can see, and it says new comment.
The one on top is new.
It's right there.
Hold on, the one above
Okay.
is also
Vicky she was a class president in 1978 and sold donuts in the parking lot after school. On Friday, there were Krispy Kreme donuts for 10 cents each. We had enough money to do junior-senior function and $800 for the next class. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. We don't have a Krispy Kreme around here, though. We'd have to get with Dunkin' Donuts to see if they can do anything right now.
The only problem with that is if we did a Krispy Kremes, we wouldn't make any profit because Travis would eat them all.
Do what now?
never eat product.
I'm not a cop.
I didn't say that.
But yeah, I probably would. I got to keep my stomach up.
Up is correct.
I've actually lost 10 pounds. What are you trying to do? Roll me out of the studio? Jessica said, right now I don't have any money, and I'm trying to help my kids earn their way to summer camp selling camp cards. So we are fundraising for ourselves. Well, that's cool. Yeah, and I know everybody can't. Yeah, but if you, she just said, but I can share whatever is posted.
Thank you for that.
That right there alone, Jessica, you wouldn't believe how much that helps. Because if you can it's like that old shampoo commercial. I told one person and they told 2 people and they told 2 people. That's how it works. Now, also, we have a summer camp that we're going to be announcing here in the next probably month. We're going to have some canoes stuff going on over at Lake Broward. We do that every year, especially for kids that get picked on. That's for a different night. And then there's a horse camp for kids to be able to learn how to ride. There's a bunch of good stuff that's going on. But right now I want to stay. Jessica put that's a funny emoji there. You guys and gals can't see. If you go on Facebook, you'll see it. Go to the Putman Way or IITW Radio, you'll see it. On YouTube, if I don't get your comments on YouTube, please forgive me. There's a lot of stuff. I know Miss Betty Vay, I believe she had donated $87 to you.
Yes.
Dale.
Yes, thank you.
But I missed her comment last week, and I think she's coming after me for not getting back to her. So, but if I don't see your comments, we're streaming out live on what? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places?
At least.
So I can't see everybody's comments, so I'm sorry about that. Now, hopefully, we're going to have this ferry. Wait, let me back up here a little bit. If you write a check to Fort Gates, if you want to drop one off to Captain Dale down there, you're there every day, correct? Except for Tuesday?
Yep, every day. Yep, Tuesdays.
And if you want to drop a check off, please write on the very bottom of the check on the comment section for barge. Don't leave it for Fort Gates. ferry landing or anything like that, because that will get us in trouble with the county, because then they'll say, why didn't you give us the county, this money from the county? You own this, you and your partner Dick, correct?
Yes.
But you guys don't really make any money, so why do you guys do it? I mean, to keep history alive?
Yeah, just keeping it going. We have fun doing it. So.
Yeah, well, that's got to be pretty cool. I bet you got some cool stories, too.
Yeah, I've been there, say, 20 years, and I've seen a lot of people come, and a lot of my folks have passed away, and new ones come in. And
Clarita, I guess you know her. She says, I've lived in one of the cabins there, fished off the docks many times, and used to put a boat in the water many times, so I'm very interested in this. Well, that's cool. There you got another fan.
Yep.
Amen.
We're going to have to get some T-shirts that made up say, I survived Captain Dale in the river.
Survived the ride.
Because you've never had the barge sink carrying any vehicles across, right?
No, never had no trouble. Yeah.
Have you ever broke down where the barge just goes and starts heading south toward Lake George?
I've had a couple of times I've stalled out there. Fuel filter got plugged off and ran out of fuel, and I've had a couple of times out.
But you always get them
But
across.
I've been by myself. It's that's the best thing. I didn't have nobody on board, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, my neighbor Mike, he come over and let me use his boat. He come over and says, "You drive, but you can tow it, tie it off to the tug and tow the whole thing in."
Nora wrote a comment and said, "Write a book and sell it." I actually am in the works right now, Nora, of writing a book on South Putman history, and it's mainly dealing with just Fort Gates and when it was established, when it was set up as a military, as the Army base over on the west side of the river. You guys called it the west side. Some of the county calls it the north side. I'm not sure where the hell it is. I know it's on the other side of the river. We're the east side.
Yeah, I always call it the east and the west.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's over on the west side. And in 1780, they still have a house over there, a bowling alley. The people over at Cactus Jack's still have the old original schoolhouse that was in the 1800s setting over there on their property. And they've agreed to let me come over and take pictures. So I am doing a book and on the history of Fort Gates. All the proceeds from that book are going to go over to help out the barge and the push boat, tug, whatever. But if you make a check out and you want to drop it off to Captain Dale down there, even if you only want to go by there and hand him $1, don't be embarrassed by that, because every dollar counts. At some point, if everybody gives $1, they're going to hit that 12,000 mark, which is nothing to repair a boat. And if you've ever owned a boat stands for break out another 1,000. And with a barge and a boat, let's break out 12,000. But 12,000 is not a lot to fix both of those. I mean, you had quotes on some of the barges. I believe they were $60,000-$70,000.
Yeah.
I know the county paid over $100,000 for the one on Drayton Island. So I mean, that's a cheap way. I'm glad Mr. Steve is getting involved. Have you had a bunch of people coming in and talking to you about the ferry?
Yeah, I've had people stopping today want to know when it was going to be back up and going. I said, I have no idea yet until we get everything lined up and the county gets stuff lined up, and hopefully it ain't going to be too much longer.
Now, what's this picture of?
Yeah,
I'm just wondering here, because that looks like your daughter, Angie, standing there on the front of that tug.
That was in January 7th of 2000.
That is Angie.
I ain't got a magnifying glass to see it on the screen.
That's okay. Chris can blow that joker up. But yeah, so you got two cars. You got the 100-year-old tug and barge. Well, the tug just turned 101, didn't it?
Yeah, it's just going on 101.
And the barge is close to 90. We'll call it 100 years old.
Yeah, it's been around a few days. It needs some work. That's
all right. We're going to help you get it fixed up, buddy.
Yep.
We'll be going across the water in that thing.
They got one picture in there with my head sticking up out of the hole in the center of the barge.
Oh, yeah.
We have that one, too.
I was working on it there.
It looked like a whack-a-mole.
We'll have had that one in 1 minute.
That's actually in a video. We can play that video if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play the video for everybody. They can
Yeah, we'll
see
put
it.
this video up.
I think it's like the third or fourth picture.
This will explain a lot to you guys and gals listening, and you're going to see some of the old pictures and exactly what this barge is about. I think it's, what, a minute long? It's not that long.
Yeah, it's not that long at all.
We have plenty of time. I own this radio station. Yeah, Chris is good at this thing. Say hi, Chris. There's the thumb. Where's my Hobbit at? Okay, here we go. Oh, you got cut off, Hobbit. I'm going to have the Hobbit on here. This is help save Fort Gates. Look at that old car. Now that's the original. Stop that for a second, Chris. Go back 1 second. Okay, now that's the original barge there, correct?
That's one of the old cypress barges. Yeah.
Now that barge is still setting down there in the water, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got one about that size, and I have two smaller ones that were sunk in the river over there.
And those are original, what was those, cypress barges?
Yeah, the old cypress barges, yeah.
How in the hell did they get across the river in a wooden raft?
Yeah, I don't know if they had to pole it across or they run regular 20-foot poles and just walk it along. But I don't think the river was that wide back in 100 years ago.
No, it doesn't look that.
Yeah, it
years
doesn't
ago.
look that wide, yeah.
Yep. And I've seen it get wider since I've been here 20 years. I've seen that river get wider and wider every time a hurricane comes in.
That looks like Teddy Roosevelt standing there in the front.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Holy crap, the guy in the back almost looks like you, Captain Dale. He's getting ready to have
Reincarnated.
he's getting ready to have the donkey pulling him across. At the end of that, you can see a rope
Yep.
there. Okay, I guess
Yep.
we started the video again.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and start it. There's Dale with his big gun sticking out. You were a lot younger then.
Yeah, that's a few days ago.
Man, you guys have some beautiful sunsets here too.
Oh, yeah.
There you are.
There it
the
is. Stop that
whack-a-mole.
one for a second. There we go.
There I'm
There's our
working
whack-a-mole.
on the tanks right there.
You were working on the tanks in there. Now I know why that thing's been up and floating for 100 years. So what do you do when you're down there? I mean, you have to mop the water out? I mean, I guess
Yeah,
there's got to be
I-
condensation built up like crazy in there from that steel hull.
Yeah, I get small sump pumps in there, and they pumps the water right out of there. I don't get a whole lot, but try to keep them dry as I can. Leave the lids off when I'm not busy, and let it dry out.
And what's the the board across there? Have you ever had anybody like just pull in there like a dumbass and drive completely off the end of it into the river?
No, not that bad. I've had them pull up to the edge sometimes when they got a boat trailer on the back.
I know you've let me drive my truck on there before, but I mean, is there a lot of people that are afraid to jump in their vehicle and drive it on there? You got to get out and drive their vehicle on?
Yeah, it happens once in a while. And I guess some people they just hide in the seat. They're like a passenger in the car. They won't even look up till it's just let me know when we're on the other side. They're just petrified, won't even look out the window.
And some of them just throw them as keys like you do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the coolest thing about it, though, is because you get to see, I mean, there's alligators down there. They're waiting on you to sink that barge one day, I'm sure. They're like, ooh, here comes a snack, 6 people.
Yeah. I get the eagles down there on the telephone pole out there. It's out in the middle of the river. There's eagles are sitting there in the winter months, and I get the osprey there in the summer months.
And you have river otters and turtles and...
Oh yeah, a lot of otters, turtles, manatees. Get to see a lot of things out there. Sometimes I had a bear come across one time out by the landing. It came all the way across from the forest side over to the camp.
Maybe you should catch that bear and have it pull you.
And I've seen deer swim across there.
Yeah, I've seen deer swim across the river, not in this particular spot, but that's got to be pretty cool. I mean, the people got to be... I know my kids were ecstatic when we went across it. You know, and I got to tell you, the first time I went across it, it freaked me out. It was like, man, this is an old barge. I hope this thing don't sink.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I got about 25 feet out in there, 25 yards out in the river, it was all cool. I mean, the kids were enjoying it. They were outside there looking over the rails. I'm like, hey, stay away from the rails, but you know how kids are. And Jolie said, I can't wait to get my kids and grandbabies out on it. Well, hopefully, Jolie, come May, in the first part of May, we're going to have this joker up if the county gets out there and does their job, and if FDOT gets out there and does their job. It's not all the county, It's a lot has to do with a FDOT getting out there because they actually own that road, right? The Department of Forestry and
Yeah, it's the forest,
FDOT and
forest
county.
Road. Forest Road is Willaca State Forest and Ocala National Forest.
So it's all three of them then, the county, FDOT, and the forestry.
Forestry, yep.
Okay. All right, go ahead and start that video again up, Chris. Thank you. Now this is when it...
Yeah, when it was sinking there.
I love that old tug. I want to ride in the tug.
I get a lot of people want to do that.
There's the lady that had the pictures taken and stand. I took this picture. I'm going to lie about the sunsets coming up, too.
That was her grandmother or something, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah, she got to stand in the exact same spot her grandparents stood in.
Yeah.
Now, Paul Newman also came down there and filmed a commercial off of that. Oh, check that out. That is an old car. I love that thing. Now, these boards, this is still the same entrance that this picture was taken on, looks like 900 years ago.
Yeah, it looks like the forest side to me. I don't know.
900 years ago. Only Travis.
What's the sad thing is my parents used to be poor, and my mom would drive me around in a car like that, and I was embarrassed. Now I'd love to have that thing. You pull up at school, Ruga.
I remember those.
Duck down in the seat, Mom, please stop 2 blocks from the school. Had wooden panel doors on the inside that, well, it didn't have the wooden panel doors. It originally had wooden panel doors. But that's pretty cool that you can step back in a time in history. Of course, it's all cleaned up now. There's no laundry hanging up there.
Yeah.
I can come down there and hang a couple pair of my boxers up there if we want to make it look original. They look like they're from the 1800s. I'm sure there's holes all in them.
A little breezy, huh?
Go ahead and start that.
Sunday best. That's your Sunday breeches.
Now, this is where... Stop it right there, Chris. Thank you. This is where the barge came apart. Correct?
Yeah,
These rods were connected to that steel.
Yeah, that big wooden platform was sitting right on top of that, and those big steel beams were up underneath the big wooden pier, underneath that wooden platform.
I'm just wondering why it was never fixed. I mean, apparently these bolts or whatever they are, they're old.
Yeah, there were pieces of rebarb drove down in there, and that must have been the code back in the 30s or something when they redid this landing.
I actually had read right directly before we came in here tonight that this was done in the 80s. I want to say it was something.
What was it, 80s?
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
know there's
actually.
a
They had a
concrete-
bid and it was done around the 80s. Was the last time that this was done. But I have, if you want, Travis, from the other side, so people can actually see what it was supposed to originally look like, so they can see the drive on.
Okay, we'll wait until we finish up with the video.
That's fine. I'll just give me time to put it over.
There's Paul Newman's car there.
Yeah, there's Paul Newman. He did a Nissan commercial on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Paul Newman. He's out there thinking, man, I can't wait to make some barbecue sauce and get out of here. We got to get you a captain hat like the guy there on the right. Okay, stop it right there. This is originally what the ferry used to look like. Now, this is the other side, the west bank, correct?
Yeah, it's on the west bank, yeah, on the forest side.
Okay. That's not you out there in the bush
No.
buggy.
No, that's, I don't know who's driving it then. There was several owners over the years.
Now, that's still the original barge, correct? Right there that you
Yeah,
have
same
now.
barge, yeah, same old barge, yeah.
And what about the saw? Is that how they used to call the captain ferries over on the other side?
Yeah, you can blow the horn. There's a metal spoon sitting there. You can pound on the saw blade, and it'll ring across the river because you can see the camp on the far side of the river over there on the Fruitland side.
I bet Captain Mike didn't like that.
Yeah.
Crabby Mike.
Hey, old Krabby Mike, yeah.
He's a crabber that lives on the other side, right there by the landing.
Yeah.
But I think you told me where this old blade is at, and I'm going to go talk to him and see if I can get him to donate it. We'll put that thing back up on the other side.
Yep, it's up on 308 up there.
It might have holes blown in it, though, if we keep having people bang on it. Mike will come out there and shoot that thing. It'll look like some of the stop signs in Ocala National Forest. Okay, go ahead and start it again.
And there's the old Fort Gates house on the forest side over there. It's one of the garages there. There's that old car again.
There's my great-grandmother's bloomers hanging up there again.
Yep.
You're a mess.
And there's another picture of the lady right there with the ferry. And she wanted to take that
There's
ferry.
Paul Newman standing with his back to us right there. Yeah.
When I
Look at
talked
that
to,
old pull up. I'm good.
they don't
Yeah,
make
that
fun of
old
that car. I used to have one just
no,
like that.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the boards to pull up on the ramp.
The place basically still looks the same way as it did back in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, you modernized the cabins up a little bit by putting siding and stuff and redoing the insides, but
Yeah.
they're pretty much sitting in the same spots, aren't they?
Oh yeah, right in the same spots. We replaced it. Put new siding on them and soffits around the edges. We remodeled the insides. Can't.
Check out this guy on the left here. He lost half of his pants there.
Yeah.
He's got like knickers on. I wonder if that was the old captain. Oh, we got music. I'm not going to have that music on while I'm sitting here looking at Dale across the desk.
Romantic.
I am not going to do the Fairy Dale thing. I do not want my ass kicked. I have a heart condition. Did I tell you about that, Dale? But that is too cool that you're still that you still want to preserve history and you want to keep it thing up and original. I mean, that is so cool because I've even heard some of the county people say, well, this thing doesn't matter. But it really does, because not only do you have people that just want to go back and enjoy history, but you have businesses that go across there, correct?
Yeah, I get a lot of business people.
I mean, like what kind of...
I get a lot of air conditioning guys from Ocala, sheetrock guys that are coming over to the ferry to do contracting jobs in Fruitland and Georgetown, and I have electricians come across. See them in the morning. They'll be there as soon as the barge opens at 7 o'clock. They're waiting to come across. And 5 o'clock, they're back to go across the river again.
I know I saw a well drilling company down there one time. It was...
Yeah, Putman Well comes across quite often.
Yeah, so they're using it, and I know Turner Septic
Yep.
uses it.
Ryan Turner uses it quite often, and even on the weekends when he brings his grandchildren across to go to the Salt Springs to go camping. So on the weekends.
So this thing is used to bring... I mean, when these guys go over into the other counties, like Mr. Turner at Turner Septic,
Yeah.
He's going over there and doing business over here, and he's bringing money back into the county. So
Yeah.
and the same with the well drilling people. If they're going over there and drilling, then they're making money in Marion County and then bringing it back over to this side of the county.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. Do the kids ever come up and... I bet the kids love this thing.
Yeah, sometimes I just get some people who want to just go for a ride, and they just walk on. I'll take them across. If I ain't got no cars, I'll run them across and show them how it works.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
See, you give them the history and everything on it while they're there, like an educational thing?
Tell them how long it's been around here, how old the old boat is, and give them a little history on the river. So
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's
I've
cool.
learned a
So,
lot
yeah.
since I've been there over the 20 years. So
Oh, I bet. You threatened to push me off of it a couple times, so I'm not going to get it. No, I'm joking. He never has. Captain Dale was way too nice. I can't read what Nora wrote. My IT guy just stepped out for a second, so I grabbed the mouse. Let me see what she wrote there,
You need
Chris.
some cheese?
Impatient man.
We're a mess in the studio. It's a nice studio, though, huh, Dale?
yeah, it's nice in there. Yeah, got a nice setup.
We are the county's bosses, not the other way around. You are absolutely right, Nora. So, what are you gonna do? Eventually sell it? Or you told me you were thinking about handing it down to your grandson.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I got lots of grandchildren, so I'm hoping maybe somebody there will take it up and get their captain's license and follow on through with it. I hope so.
Oh, good God! I know you have a lot of grandkids.
Yeah,
I've seen them. I know who they are.
got 4 grandsons and 4 granddaughters.
You're kind of keeping them spaced out there too. I mean, they're all from like teardrop, tic tac size, all the way up.
Yep.
Kind of like the Brady Bunch going on there.
Yeah, from 20 years old down to I think 3.
Well, your one grandson, Jacob, I believe he's 12.
Yeah, he's 12. Yeah.
Yeah, he told me he's going to take over your business
Yeah, that'd be nice.
in another 5 or 6 years when he can drive.
Yeah, he wants to come down to the camp next year, and when he turns 13 to start working down there around the camp. So.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It's not very often.
He's been asking me already, can I come down to camp and work when I'm 13? I was like, yeah, you can come down.
You're lucky because my kids doesn't want anything to do with radio or writing.
Oh, yeah.
Which sucks. My business is going to go in a tank. I'm going to take it to the grave with me. So, I mean, this is so cool that you're actually keeping history alive. I mean, you're not willing to let it die. I mean, it'd be easy for you to walk away from it right now, especially since it's been down for 18 months.
Yeah, we've been struggling by. We've been getting through with the RVs, and the cabins were a good summer last year. We had a lot of people in the cabins doing a lot of fishing, and keeps me going. So
it's only $45 a night to stay there, 45 and 55?
Yep.
Hell, book me for a weekend.
Yeah, 40 and 55, yeah.
40 and 55? You can't even go to the Holiday Inn for $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to put you on that, what's that one where the guy slides into the bathtub and pops up in the pool?
I don't know.
It's, what's the name of it? I see the commercial all the time.
I don't know.
They give you the best rates around.
Is it the Best Western or Holiday Inn?
No. It's a guy,
Oh, I don't know.
Travanka or something like that.
No, you've got me lost.
Yeah, I'm lost too.
We know that.
Yeah, you should get in on those, but then you'd be booked up. I think the residents around here would want to stay down there. We'd be able to fish. I mean, it's quiet too. That's what I like about it. If you're looking for a quiet place to stay, if you're looking for a swimming pool, no. Nora wrote, my husband wants to know, what road do you take to get there? Okay, if you go down 309, if you're on 17, if you're coming from Crescent City, you can actually take 308. And when you get through, that's by the Kangaroo. I think it's Kangaroo or Circle K there in the middle of Crescent City. You turn, you go out 308. You get to 309. You can't go any further unless you run through a house. You make a right, and then how far down are you? A mile on the left?
Yeah, about a mile down on the left.
And then
big 4-foot by 8-foot sign out there.
But it says ferry closed, but Dale's still there.
Yeah, the fish camp's still open, and the cabins and everything's all set there to go fishing. So
now, if you come down 17 from Palaca, when you get to 309, you make a right on 309. It's where the old substation for the sheriff's department used to be. Go across the railroad tracks, and then you take 309 through Willaca Forest. How far are you from Willaca?
I think it's 7 miles from the corner up from the sheriff's station. But from Willaca, we're about 2.5 miles out.
Well, that's not that far off of 309. It's only 7 miles. I mean, when you go through, you'll see the fish hatcheries. When you go through Willaca, they're on both sides. You can't miss them. They look like dried up ponds. Some of them might have water in them when they're hatching fish out. Mm-hmm. And then you go past that, and then you're only down a mile or two.
Go just past the fire tower out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
you got them
about a half a mile past the fire tower.
Yeah, it's not a very big sign though. It just says Fort Gates.
Yeah, Fort Gates Ferry, Gateway Fish Camp.
Yeah. When you make a right on that, when you go down, you're going to see a gate. Don't try to go through the gate. You have to make a right on the dirt road.
Yeah, it says Fort Gates Ferry Road.
Yeah, and follow that down.
Yep. Short pavement to the sand road. So.
Let's see. Jolie wrote, need to try to get advertising for the cabins and stuff out there. I don't know about the cabins till all this started. Yeah, well, we tried to. It's Fort Gates has been kept a secret for so long because they don't want a bunch of spring breakers down there trashing the place. Tell him he's welcome, Nora. It's been one of Putnam County's best and one of Florida's best kept secrets for years. And the fact that you can go down there and just relax. If you're a young kid looking for a place to go party and smoke weed, that is not the place. And drink and hoot and holler is not the place. But you spend a lot of time down there getting the place set up so that they can relax. I know you set up, you got 4 or 6 picnic tables that are underneath an overhang.
Yeah, there's picnic tables there, barbecue grills, stuff there. There's things there to cook on, and it's all set up pretty good there for everybody. So there's.
When is it going to reopen? Well, you can stay in the cabins right now, Nora, but I don't know. It depends on the county. We're pushing to get the barge and the tug up and running. And then, hell, if we have to bring in some aluminum ramps, we'll bring those in. But the county needs to get there. The Department of Forestry, FDOT, whoever the hell is doing this thing needs to get out there and fix that landing, because we're going to be sitting there. We're going to be ready in May for this thing to be up and going. And that's going to suck if they don't have the landings fixed.
Well, there's no excuse. I mean,
There's no excuse. I mean, you could actually run that thing right now if you had to. I mean, you just put a little patch on the bottom where the thing went through. You could actually patch it up and be running, or you could have been up and running this whole time, correct?
Yeah, if I had it repaired, I could have been up there.
So,
Captain Jill.
All I can do is go to the forest side and pick somebody up and take them for a ride around and take them back to the forest side and drop them off. That's about the only.
Captain Jill, if you were to say what your wish would be for Fort Gates Ferry to come back, what would it be? When you see all this coming about and everybody helping you, what are you seeing for the future of Fort Gates? What's your goal?
Get it back up and running and be super there. I just got me to it quick here.
No, I mean for the kids, or I mean
yeah,
for
the kids and the
hand out.
people. I've had hundreds of people stop by and just wanting to get what's going on. Is it going to get back up and going? How long's temporary close called up on the sign out front? We've just been waiting.
Basically, it's become, for you, it's become more of a family thing. It's not just a job to you. It's
Oh, yeah,
everybody's a family to you.
Yeah, I see same people every winter. I get snowbirds that come in and they're on their way across to go to the golf course to go golfing and know everybody by names when we come across. Like, hey, we're back to see you again. So, and they're there for 3 or 4 months and they head back up north. But then I get a lot of golfers that come across out of Ocala. They come across to go down to Fruitland and go golfing, then they'll come back across the same day. And just spend a lot of time on there. I've talked to a lot of nice people, met a lot of nice people all around the world. In Germany, Australia, Greenland, Iceland. I've had people on there. I've had people from Japan. Come across usually in usually in March is I don't know what it is when everybody comes into Florida, because I usually get a lot of foreigners in here then.
they're running away from the snow and the melting
Yeah, some was
muck.
Some was March. They draws a lot of people in on the ferry. So
Yeah, they're trying to get away from that mud crap that goes on up north when all the snow melts, all that muck, red muck clay or whatever it's called.
yep.
You and I had talked when I was down there last week or the week before last. Instead of that old top on the ferry being gone, you were talking about cutting that off and sticking it over by the water so the kids could be standing inside with the wheel.
The old cab from the tugboat right now. We're gonna take that cab off and mount it down so it's like they can go in there and take pictures with so you can have the pictures there with the wind looking out like the cab of the window. You can look out the front of the barge or on the front of the tug. I mean.
So like the kids would be, they could pretend
so
they were
be
driving
like they
it.
were driving it, yeah. But you'll be on land with it, but just kind of make it look kind of neat for them.
That sounds like something fun. I think I'd enjoy that.
Yeah.
I'll go down there and take pictures of my kids in it.
Yeah, I get a lot of people want to get on the boat, but I can't have them down there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't blame you. If it was me on there, it'd be trying to push the throttle and make it go faster. And now,
That'd
how
be
long
your
does
song,
it?
faster, faster?
How long does it take you to get across the river now?
About 8 to 10 minutes at the most. Yeah. Time I get loaded up and get on the way and get across unloaded is about 10, 12 minutes.
Well, that's pretty quick though.
Time you get unloaded and reloaded.
I mean, the river's over a mile across.
Yeah, it's about a mile wide right there. If I'm
so-
not busy, if they're not in a hurry, I'll just kind of scoot out around the edge so they can see some birds or something over there. Sometimes there's gators in the river. You can go along the edge over there, make the ride a little bit longer. So.
Yeah, I know. I've taken my daughter down there before in a canoe, and we've launched right there at Fort Gates because you have a boat ramp there.
Yeah.
We've canoed and went over to the other side, and of course my daughter, Cheyenne, she's not afraid of alligators or anything, and she'll paddle right up on one. That still freaks me out. Of course, used to not to. That was before I got old. Before I would have jumped in the water. Now I'm jumping back on land and running. So, but I want to thank you for coming in, Mr. Dale. We got to raise $12,000 to get this thing open back up. And I know you appreciate everything that everybody's done. You wanted me to tell them thank you, so I'll let you tell them tonight.
Yes, I thank everything they've done so far. Hope they can help me out to get this back up and running and get it ready to go here. It's been down long enough here, so it's got to get it back up and get history going again here. make some new friends.
Well, that's got to be kind of cool. Before I let you get out of here, that's got to be kind of cool though that you can actually, because not many people can say that they can keep something that's 135 years old up and going still. Because with everybody ripping down statues and everybody losing their ever living freaking mind anymore, this is one of the things. It's not like a statue, but this is actually something that they can go interact with history. So I mean that is so cool that you're willing to do that, and I know you don't make squat off of it because you're not doing enough cars a year to make any kind of profit. And I know from owning boats and still having a boat that, you know, like I said before, a boat stands for break out another 1,000. So I know with a little bit of money, you have to turn and put that back into the barges. So you're basically doing it. Well, when I talked to you before, you said usually go in a hole every year.
Yeah, we don't get rich on it. We get by and we just miss it a whole lot. I have a lot of people just wanting to get back up and going across. They count on it, and a lot of them go to Tampa to the hospitals. They take from Fruitland down so they can take the shortcut across. Cuts all the traffic out of going down 40 and across. And
yeah, we've still got people writing in. I'm still catching some of these. It says how much to stay in the cabins and ride the ferry.
Yeah, the ferry's $10 when I have it going, and the cabins I say 40 and 55 a night.
So and they have a refrigerator in them. They have a stove in them, so you can bring
refrigerator. Yep, everything's inside. They're like a small efficiency apartment. You can stay there for one night or 2 nights or a week. As long as I got a lot of reservations coming in right now for this coming month because fishing season starts.
And you actually have a special with if you stay 6 nights, you said you get your 7th night free.
Yeah, you get 1 night free if you stay for a week.
That sounds
Pay
like
for
it
6, get 1 night free.
Oh, that's cool. Now, you also have boat slips down there before I let you get out of here.
Yeah,
you have some boat slips down there for smaller bass boats and stuff. If people want to just keep their boats there year-round, you have the slips, and then you have the things that raise them out of the water.
Yeah, I got a couple there. It's got lifts on them where you can lift it out. But a lot of them just keep it in there, tie it off, and I just put a new boathouse in there in 06. We put another boathouse in.
So how much is it to keep a boat down there? If I say I wanted to bring my boat down there, my bass boat, and stick it in there and just keep it so I don't have to keep putting it in and out of the water and taking it home and pissing my neighbors off with it sitting in my front yard.
Yeah, I just charge $50 a month.
50, that's it?
That's it.
Dude, you need to be charging more money.
Yeah, like you're just there staying in the cabin and you want to put your boat in the boathouse, it's $5 a night. So.
Oh, that's cool. Steve just wrote in. I was trying to see what he put up there. Steve is the guy that was on you were on channel on First Coast News the other day. Yeah. I saw they did something with you, and we're talking about the ferry. And Steve.
No, that was Pete that you're referring to.
Who?
The person you think of is Pete.
Oh, was it Pete with the old motorcycle?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Steve Bartlett said, "Hey, Travis, Steve's here in Hoodile Ridge. I'm so pleased to see that someone has taken enough interest in Putnam County to keep the public informed on everything that happens in the surrounding areas." Well, I appreciate that, Steve. That's what we try to do on the Putnam Way and IITW Radio is to do everything we can. Oh, Nora wrote, any help from the Chamber of Commerce? I'm not even going to get into that, Nora. Bite my tongue.
Right. We had somebody asking about the status of the other side of the ferry, and I just sent you 3 pictures of what it looks like at this time on the landings.
Okay. Yeah, it needs some repair, too.
Yes, it does.
I mean, the wooden docks and stuff, this should have been repaired 100 years ago as well. If you look, we'll get Chris to zoom in on this picture when we get it up here. Yeah, that thing needs a lot of work. Hey, somebody did put a new board in it, though. Was that you, Captain Dale?
No, they had county, I think, come down, had a guy put in a board. There was a hole down through there.
And how long did that take for that one board?
Zoom in on this rotted spot.
Quite a while.
I hope
they did to get it fixed.
That's
That's
all
good.
they did. Look at the rot at the end of it. You got a freaking tree growing up through there, and I don't know what that is. It looks like marijuana.
Yeah, that's-
Anybody want to go down there and pick that
You
bud?
can have a
It's
happy
in the
time.
thing.
Party on the other side.
yeah, there's
Do
the
not
land in it.
drive on that side. The pylons look all in good
Yeah,
shape,
they
though.
look pretty good shape yet. Yeah.
We have another picture of the steel plate that Chris can put up for us. Zoom in right there. Yeah, I think this thing has seen better days.
Yeah, it's
Zoom in on this part for
getting
me,
worn
Chris.
there.
Yeah,
Fair
I'd say
weather.
that ain't gonna make it. The answer that person's questions, the other side sucks. Don't drive on it.
Yeah.
Not unless you have one of those boat cars.
And this picture was taken about a week ago.
Yeah, put this one back up, Chris. I want them to see something here. The cabling system and the rigging is still pretty much the same way it was back
Yeah,
100
that's-
years ago
Yeah, it's back in the
on the
18
left-hand side. So what does this wheel do on the left-hand side here? in the
Yeah,
picture?
they've had a new structure put underneath it, but the gear mechanism in there is back in the 1800s. There's no ball bearings; it's just all brass bushings, and it's the old rigs from a long time ago.
So you turn that and that lifts the metal plate
Yeah, I
up.
just turn that big wheel and it lifts the steel plate up so I can take it off the barge, and I just pull the chain, and the chain releases the wheel and drops it right back down on top of the barge, so I can have cars drive up on top of the barge.
You know what's crazy? And I just thought about this. What happens if somebody comes hauling ass down that road at night? There's no barricade in front of that sucker.
No, there's nothing there until they
This is
they
why
better know where they're at. So
do not drink and drive.
With the new smaller cars, you're
Or
just
come
going to
out
hear.
swimming.
yeah.
So,
That's going to be it. I didn't even have to pay for that sound effect. I can do that with my mouth.
so
Yeah,
you
that's cool. It's all get out. Do you take that wheel and you spin it? Something the county needs to go over there and spin that wheel and raise that ramp up so they hit a chunk of steel.
You said that part of that was from the original 1800s era.
Yeah, that's some of the old wheels with the old brass bushings in them, and the 4 ball bearings.
You guys, you've got to help us keep this part of history
Yeah.
alive. I mean, there's so much here.
You know what I mean? You got guys during the Civil War spinning the thing around.
Yeah, they've been a long time sitting there waiting at the same spot, so they just rebuilt the one on my side here a long time ago, but they has a high and low range in that one on my side, on the office side.
Nora wrote, she said, "You're not the bass anglers." Thank you, and I hope to get it fixed in timing to consider what with the reopening. I hope they get it open by the time we're ready. I'd like to see them get it open right now, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So if you guys and gals call your county officials and ask them what in the hell is going on with this thing, when is it going to be open? You know, when are they going to get the landing fixed? Tell them, don't worry, we have the barge covered. Mr. Steve up there at St. John's Shipbuilding, he's going to work with us. We're going to get people to donate. We're going to get this thing fixed back up, and it's going to be brought up to modern day codes and standards, but still with the 1800s and the 1780s style thing. I mean, the boat's 130 or 100 years old. The barge is 100 years old. This is a place where you can go back in history and step back into history instead of stepping into the future. It would be easy to put a new barge in there. It'd probably be a lot cheaper to put a new barge in there, a new boat, and just go with modern stuff and put all, brand new buildings in there. But you haven't wanted to do that. You're just still trying to keep it all.
Yeah, just keep it like it was. I don't need no fancy landings. Just fix the wooden poles there that needs replaced, and they can't. I just don't come down and fix what I had. That's all. I wish they'd just do that, but I don't know how the code office works with the county and all that stuff runs. But just want to back up and running like it used to be. I made it work, and said everybody worked with me. If they're lined up in cars, they back up and get out of the way, and they pull right back up and get on the barge. So everything works out.
Yeah,
Never had no problems.
Jolie wrote in and said, "Is the weather side Putman or Marion's responsibility?"
I think she meant
Well,
west.
That's kind of the
that's-
catch-22 because both sides are owned by Putnam County,
Yeah.
but you have to drive through Marion County. Once you get, a half mile down the road on the
Yeah,
other
it's
side?
About 5 miles down, you'll see the road turns off to the right-hand side. That's
Yeah.
all Putnam County that way, back to 19.
But if part of that road is owned by Marion County.
Yeah,
isn't
part
it?
of the road, if you stay straight ahead and don't turn off, it goes right into Marion County beside the campgrounds in Salt Springs.
Yeah, I'm getting a hold of Ted Yoho on Monday, Nora. I've already left him a couple messages. So do him like I do everybody else. Drive up there and stand in front of the crapper and wait for him to come out. Hand him my business card. Sorry you were in there in the bathroom dropping one, but here's my card. I nailed you, didn't I?
And he's not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
He's relentless, y'all.
I'll do it.
He stays on it till he gets what he wants. So.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Captain Dale, for coming in here. We're about out of time. I
All
got to
right.
do my closing
Thanks for
segment here.
having me.
But I appreciate it. Let's see, which one's this mic? Two? That one? Okay, cool beans. Yeah, now, guys and gals, I'm just going to stay on this for a second because I only have a few minutes to go here. When we lose history, we lose ourselves. History repeats itself. You know, this is a chance to keep a part of history alive. And Mr. Dale, Captain Dale is a great guy. He's willing to bust his ass and to keep this part of history and not make anything. When most people are selfish in business and all they want to do is make a buck, this man just wants to keep history alive. And I know when we were all in school, everybody hated history. They didn't like it. But the thing is this is not something you read in a book. This is something you can actually walk out there. You can stand in the same spot that our forefathers stood in. The people that had just founded this country. The people that had just fought in the Civil War. You can stand where Indians had fought the white man. You can stand where where slavery was fought. To end slavery. You can stand right in the same spots where there used to be muskets and bows and arrows that would fly across the river. And then get your children to use their imaginations. When they stand in that old tug that's going to be mounted down on the river and they're looking out on the river and they think they're driving, when you have those imaginations, it's not like Xbox. Before Xbox and everything came along and when I was a kid, you went out and you used your imagination. You didn't look at a screen where you have Xbox and like that one video game where they have a 6-foot dildo beating and killing each other to death. No, this was where you go out and you actually can imagine stuff. But your kids can see nature, not in their bedroom on a stinking video game or not listening to it on a radio. They can go out and they can see alligators. They can see river otters. They can see turtles and manatees and bears and deer and all kinds of stuff. And get your kids out of the freaking house when this thing opens up. And go out and do it. More importantly, we need everybody to donate $1 to $5. I mean, if you go down to Fort Gates and just see it, you don't have to go across on the barge. Just go down there and step in that piece of time, because that place has been there since 1780. Go back there and just stand there and imagine what it was like having an arrow coming shooting at you. You may have flame on it or something, but just imagine an arrow. Imagine a Civil War guy standing there. If you're psychic, you might even see a ghost. Hell, I don't know. I've never seen any. But you can go back down there and you can see a piece of history that still lives today. And hopefully our elected officials are going to get off their asses and do something about this and get it fixed. I mean, it's dragged along way too long now. I mean, I have emails and stuff that I'm going to pull out and show you guys and gals here in the next week or two of where I have personal emails from people from the road department saying, oh, yeah, we're going to reopen this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I didn't want to do that to Mr. Dale tonight because he's not interested in the political stuff. He doesn't care about that. He's too nice of a man. He doesn't give a rat's ass about any politics or anything like that. He just wants this piece of history up and going again so that he can teach kids when they come across the river. He can talk to the elderly. He can share stories about this place and a piece of history that's going to be lost. If that landing doesn't get fixed, it doesn't matter if we got the barge going and the tug going. If there's no way to get cars on and off of it, it's going to be lost. It will be a waste. And to our elected officials, please get off your asses. You had the money before. I don't know where it went. I don't know if you stole it, if it got pocketed, if you had to give it back. I'm being really fair about this. Because once I put these emails and stuff up that I have and all the stuff that's been procrastinated on because there was something more important than losing a piece of our history. And yes, I have talked to one or two of you and you said, well, it's not really a thing. Shame on you guys. You know, that is such bull crap. And I'm calling foul on it right now. This is history. It's not a damn statue. It's not something racial. It's not a sex thing. Get the damn thing up and running and do your freaking jobs, please, before you piss me off and I have to go after everybody. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. There is a GoFundMe account. Can we put that up again?
Give me half a second.
We have it posted.
It says, Travis, where would someone donate for this cause?
We just posted it.
Okay, just posted under there, Mr. Steve. You can go on the Fort Gates. There it is, right there. And if you guys have got somebody else already donated, up to almost $400. It's still a long ways to go. But to those people that donated, let me see their names real quick. We got Russell, Richard, James Vay, Angie Wright, Doug Williams, Annie Vega. Is that right?
Yes.
Gordon Vega.
Okay, Annie Gordon Vega. This is kind of blurry from where I'm looking at. Peter, is that Ackerman?
Yes.
Yes, Pete Ackerman. He was the gentleman that was on the motorcycle in the video with you, Dale.
Okay, yeah. Walaka Marina, Richard Middleton, Dave and Becky Ziegler, and Betty Niles and Wayne Niles.
If you scroll down, you can also see some of the comments that were left behind by those individuals.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can read them. My screen is blurry. I don't know if I need to clear. Let's see this. Russell Richards says, because it will save us some time to get to Ocala
For the doctor?
for the doctors. Hell yeah, that's another good thing. I mean, they got people over there that need to go to the doctors in Ocala. That's the one that says, I love you, Daddy. It's not much, but it's all I can afford financially. This must have been from one of Captain Dale's kids. It says, I will not stop fighting for you and getting Fort Gates Ferry back up and running for everyone. And Fort Gates says, thank you, everyone, for all your help. You are a part of what makes Fort Gates Ferry worth fighting for. We love this piece of history and want to keep it open for generations to come. You give us, you guys are amazing. God bless. Doug Williams wrote, Fort Gates and Salt Springs are history. History must be remembered. You are absolutely right. Hey, I got a thing up there, but I'm not going to read mine. Annie Gordon Vega wrote, I love Florida history and the Fort Gates Ferry. It's a place that really makes it come to life.
It's a piece.
What?
It's a piece that really makes it come
Oh, a
to
piece
life.
that makes it come to life. Okay, like I said, this screen is far back. You guys have to deal with me on this. And it's actually blurry because I'm trying to read it on a different screen that's a ways away from me. It says, Walaka Marine, this has been a great means of crossing the river for many years. My family has used the ferry many times over the years, and we would love for it to stay in operations. It's also a great way for people to cross from Ocala to other areas and see friends and family and conduct business. Brittany wrote, so many beautiful memories riding the ferry. Hope the funds are raised to bring it back. Richard Middleton wrote, I care. And Dave and Becky Ziegler wrote, it's part of our history. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
That's a few of the comments that are on there. Wow, my head got real big. I was like Oprah there for a second staring in the screen. Okay, we've got to get out of here. Let me give my shout-outs real quick. I have to give a shout-out to a beautiful lady we met today named Joanne over at Walmart.
Yes.
We didn't take a picture of her, but we should have. But I was trying to get my groceries in the vehicle because it was pouring down rain. To my partner in crime, Tammy, she runs the Putnam Way. If you guys want the latest breaking news on Putnam County and also across the nation, click on over to the Putnam Way, and you can get news, all kinds of stuff over there. It keeps up and running. It's updated every few minutes. We got to get Nat and Miguel back on there again, too. They are two of our firefighters. Now, when you see your firefighters, make sure you go out and thank them for their service and their commitment to us. These guys and gals do not get paid a lot of money, and they're what help keep us alive in wrecks and fires and floods, when trees go down on the road, anytime that anything goes wrong. And they hang out during hurricanes, and they are there to save our sorry butts if we cross the line and get in a crash. Make sure you thank a firefighter. Make sure you walk up and thank a veteran. Thank these people for their services. Our local law enforcement, thank them. All lives matter. especially our first responder lives. And I got to give a shout out to Mama B. I know she thinks I forgot her. Miss Debbie, Rosie, my niece, I'm sure she's listening tonight. She's going to call me potty mouth again. Annette, Audrey, Cameron. I want to thank my staff, Marie, my hobbit, Chris, Tammy, Cameron. I'll say them again. And that's it. Thank you guys and gals for listening. Let us come in and mess your mind up a little bit. This is a piece of history we need to save. If you don't have money to donate, I understand that. But at least you can share with other people and get other people involved. And that's what makes our county and our country great, is when people get involved and they know each other and we help each other out. That's what this country was founded on. We need to get back with that. And with that being said, Monday night, we're going to have the people from the Blue Crab Festival in here to talk about what's going on. You guys and gals can get the latest updates on that from Laura and Aaron and the other guy that they're bringing with them.
Travis, one more thing before we get out. There was also a gentleman that we were supposed to give a shout out to. I can't remember his name. It was Mark or Mike from T-Mobile today. We wanted to give him a shout out.
Oh, yeah.
And there was one thing in this Fort Gates Ferry thing that you always taught me, and it's something I hold by, that you discussed the fact that the one thing about knowing about something, do you want to tell people what that is?
Yeah, once you know something, if you don't know it, it's cool. You can get away with not doing anything about it. But the problem with knowing something is when you don't do something about it, or at least try to do something about it, that makes it wrong, and you know it's wrong. If you don't step up to the plate and do something where it's share it or donate it, you're no good than the worst people in the world, in my book. Because once you know, you can't unknow it. And once you don't do something and you just let it slide by, that's a shame. That it really is. To Matt and Luann, don't forget tomorrow at the Azalea Festival to go over there. Strawberries are $10 a flat. That's a lot of strawberry. They have grapes, avocados, all kinds of stuff. They're going to be right on St. John's Avenue behind the courthouse. One last thing. If you're a criminal and you got busted and you've done your time, as long as you haven't been busted for armed robbery or child molestation, you can still get your voting rights back. What you need to do is get with the county and supervisor elections, go online, stop in your local DMV, register to vote. That's the only way you're going to make a difference, and the only way your voice is going to be heard. You still have that right that the government has finally given you back. Okay, that's it. We will see you guys and gals back here on Monday night. Have a great weekend. We love you, and we're out.
Good night, y'all.
And this is Fort Kurt Fortmeyer. I was going to say Kurt Fort Gates. That's struggling with my demons. And we opened up the show with Take It to the Breakdown by Stars in Toledo. Thank you guys, gals. We love you. Bye.
I firmly stood my ground till one day I said, screw it all, and I turned my life around. Yeah, I told my better angels they could go piss up a rope, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. Now everything that's bad for me becomes my comfort food, and from time to time I take a pill to elevate my mood. I'm coveting my neighbor's ass and things that I can't have. I bathe myself in misery like it's medicated sad. Since I told my better angels they could go piss up a rope, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. with my